We need to protect water levels in public lands, national parks, forests, wildlife refuges, wilderness, and BLM conservation areas. Water is essential to plant and animal life. Animals, critters, fish, and birds have to have visible surface water to sustain their lives. Plants, trees, and grasses, which provide food and shelter for wildlife, need water at root level. Most of our endangered species have been pushed to public lands for habitat and are dependent on them. The laws of many states, particularly in the dry West, do not provide adequate protection from depletion of water tables, ponds, streams, and riparian areas in the forest, wetland, refuges, and wilderness meant to provide habitat, recreation, and watershed. Here in Arizona, this may be the worst-case scenario, but according to a U.S. Geological Survey report, groundwater depletion issues do exist across the U.S. from Florida to Washington state. More water is being pumped than replenished naturally. In many regions, the lowering of the water tables is devastating the forest. Here in Arizona, millions of ponderosa pine and pinyon trees have died. In some regions, the die-off has been as high as 90%. In Montana, Idaho, and Oregon, the forests are also in a critical state. Their demise is blamed on lack of proper forest management and bark beetles. I witnessed the 2004 fires in Glacier National Park, so I do not doubt forest management needs improvement along scientific guidelines. However, we know that bark beetles only proliferate on unhealthy, dewatered trees. The first question should be, has the water table changed here? In many regions, industry, such as power plants and mining, both high water users, have infringed on the forests. Luxury resorts and people wanting to get away from it all have selected forest settings and installed pools and landscapes of ornamental plants that overdraw the water resources. Will there arrive a time that we will have to sacrifice the forests and its wildlife so people can have water? This is not a valid question because the forest provides the watershed to provide water to people in towns and cities. Already the watersheds have shrunk in size and capacity to recharge to aquifers because groundwater levels have receded, soil has compacted, and trees, plants, foliage, and grasses, which help slow and hold the water, have diminished, too often due to overgrazing by cattle on public lands. Two urgent water depletion problems now exist. In many states, including Arizona, California, and Texas, water users can pump down nearby wells, rivers, ponds, whether public or private, with no regulation whatsoever. In some states, such as in Arizona, mining and other industry is exempt from all water regulations. They can pump in or near a national forest, refuge or park, or even a wetland with no hydrological study. We have to have comprehensive federal action. We must protect the water, both surfaced and groundwater, in the public lands that were intended for and set aside for animal habitat and family recreation. We must maintain the public lands as a watershed for cities and towns, which was the purpose of the National Forest in the West. We must reestablish the doctrine of federal right to water in public lands, which was established in 1908 by Winters versus U.S. In a case in 1999 in Arizona Supreme Court, the presiding judge wrote, "The doctrine applies not only to Indian reservations, but to federal enclaves such as national parks, forests, monument, military bases, and wildlife preserves." We must mandate a hydrological water study to be submitted to the Forest Service or other authority to show that any proposed industry, agriculture, or building project will not drain surface water or lower water tables in any public lands. We are asking you to contact your local U.S. Congresspeople to support this idea that we should protect the water in public lands. Even as I speak, Canadian companies are filing claims to mine uranium on the north side of the Grand Canyon. This is your public land, and you have to speak up for it. My name is Nancy Freeman, and this has been my commentary.